Good training programming will work for everyone. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder, if you guys would please click like down below, it would be greatly appreciated. If you aren't following me or subscribed yet, please do so. And if you would be so kind as to drop me a comment down under the video, I would greatly appreciate it. It could be just to say hello or to give your thoughts or ideas on the video. All right, so let me get over into the topic. You know, people always feel like programming always needs to be individualized. And I'll go so far as to say, yeah, supplemental work, weak point training, all that stuff, absolutely can be individualized. But there's also this strange idea people have that, well, this sort of programming won't work for anyone. And I think that comes down to coaching and mindset. I'm going to completely disagree. And here's what I'm going to say. And you want the evidence, look at all this conjugate stuff. So I'm doing conjugate stuff here, right? You guys can see it. In fact, almost everything in this video is just literally ME and DE work. So I'm going to make a statement here. How come at Westside they didn't have to have it? How come when a NFL team is put on this sort of system, a strength coach can run 6 guys, 7, 8 guys in a rotation or 12 guys on the same program and they all keep winning Super Bowls? How come when any of the conjugate coaches set up these rotations, they can run whole blocks of guys, fire departments, police departments, Army Ranger teams, they can run all of them on the exact same program and they all excel? Why? Why do every single one of them make good progress? Because good programming is good programming. All right, let me be very clear on that. Good programming will work for everybody. In other words, they figured this out with all this stuff running these rotations and the max effort work, dynamic effort work, supplemental work afterwards. You could take 20, 30 lifters going to the same gym. As long as you got good coaches directing all of it, keeping their mindset correct, they all make progress. And it doesn't matter if they're 20 years old or 60 years old. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. You can literally take this same program and have all the young guys, the 20-somethings, 30-somethings in one group, sit there on one set of platforms, and a coach be directing all of it and keeping their mindset. And you could have 6 or 8 grandmas, all women in their 50s on the other platform, because again, you only want to make so big of weight changes. Have them all running the same base programming, and every one of them will get bigger, stronger, faster. Every single person there. Okay? This has been done over and over and over and over and over. All right, people get this idea in their head that they're some unique special snowflake. And I'm sorry, you're not. You're absolutely not. Now, does it mean everyone's going to have the same aesthetics or look? Of course not. Diet, muscle structure, the drugs you use, insertions, all that's different. But in terms of just getting a lot bigger and stronger, everybody. Now, a good coach can be watching all this and adjust your supplemental work. Right? A good coach can adjust your supplemental work and be like, okay, I see where you're weakest, so let's hammer that harder, right? Because all these lifts are just proxies for weak links. And I think people forget that. You know, they look at max effort work and they're not understanding that if you're maxing on 12 different exercises over a course of time, right? 6 different upper, 6 different lower, all this different stuff, right? You're going to find your weak links. That weak links is in your performance. In other words, if I take your bench press and change 2 different grips, I also test your floor press, your incline. Okay? I can see where all your weak links are on pressing in general. I can take a sumo deadlift. I can take a conventional deadlift. I can take a normal squat. I can take a box squat. I can take 2 types of good mornings. Okay? We can get you up to about 6 lower body lifts. That's a proxy for every muscle in your lower body. Every single muscle in your lower body, to some extent, some of your upper, is all being displayed. If I can find your weakest links on those 6 lifts and work on them, we will find the weak links in your body. All right, people have this really insane idea with that, by the way, that, oh, yeah, well, it's just for the power lifts. No, these big lifts are proxies for your entire full body strength. That is a stupid take that it's just about those lifts. Profound level of ignorance. They're just exercises that use most of the muscles in the body. That's it. All right, so back over to that other point. I can take anybody. I can run them on the base programming. They'll do good. Put them all on similar volume, similar supplemental work, and then come in, and the only individualization that needs to be done is this person can't handle as much total volume. This person needs less accessory and assistance because they can't recover from it. This person might have different weak links. Okay? But the programming can be identical. You can run a whole football team and a group of grandmas side by side on the same programming, and they will all excel. You know the difference? The coaching and the mindset. It has nothing to do with it, because if they're all there, they've all bought in. If you have bought into the programming and it's proven, it is 100% going to work. If you fail to make progress on it, it's the lack of effort on your part. Okay, so what does coaching do? Coaching is not about giving you a program. Yeah, I give programming to my clients, sure. What are we really looking at? Your mindset, your execution. Okay, if I have a lifter who's just not putting in the effort and I tell them to push harder on their maxes or push harder on their speed work, we fix it. If we see a form issue, we fix it. We fix the mistakes in the execution. We also fix the mistakes in the mindset. Okay? So in other words, if I draw up a 12-week conjugate template for you that's a base perfectly programmed template, as a general template that's just good and for most people would be within their fatigue management, and I give it to you and you don't make exceptional progress, it was not the program's fault. The programming will work for you. It's not your genetics. It was your approach to it, your lack of effort, your bad form. You're refusing to get tight. You're refusing to grip a bar correctly, refusing to brace, doing stupid stuff like you probably tried to squat a deadlift instead of learn to get tight. It was poor execution of the different movements. Because I can give the same program, rotation, 12-week set of programming to 30 different people, every one of them will get bigger and stronger. I don't care if they're an early intermediate or an elite lifter. Every one of them will make gains. They will all gain muscle. They will all gain strength. The only limiting factor is the execution of it and the way that they approached it. It's your mindset. It's not the program, guys. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.